Hi, I'm Elena Williams, Managing Partner of Pwrnm Media. Today I want to talk about aligning your news release strategies and tactics with today's digital realities. News creation and consumption has moved online. Journalists have a lot less time, but a lot more work to do. They need easy access to a lot of different kinds and especially digital assets. At the same time, the blogosphere has exploded. There's all these new outlets for your story. And as news consumption's gone online, there are new ways for consumers and prospects to find out about your brand and run across your news release online. What does it mean? Well, it means your news release now has 3 different target audiences. You have traditional media, you have the online media, and you have consumers. PR professionals can take advantage of these trends by successfully aligning your strategies with this reality. Now, let's talk a little bit about journalists first. When it comes to journalists, the best way to effectively get your news to them is to follow what we call the news release golden rule. Pretty simple. Give them what they want, how they want it. If you make their jobs easier, you improve your pickup. In our 2011 journalist survey, we surveyed a couple hundred journalists and we learned that 77% of them say they now have online responsibilities. In addition to their traditional duties, they're now contributing to online blogs, magazines, websites. So they need a lot of digital content, right? Things that are easy to transfer from your news release to their site. Video with embed codes, web quality images are good examples. But they also want some of the old stuff, right? They still want quotes, they still want backgrounders and bios. All the information you can give them that make it easy for them to pull it together and create a great story from your news release. High-res images are always key. Asked if they were more likely to cover a story if a release actually included easy access to usable images, an overwhelming majority in our survey said yes. And they want to get this info where they live, where they work. You know what I mean, right? In their inboxes. We're all addicted to it. 87% of the respondents in our survey said they want to receive releases via email. Now, as an aside, 0% said traditional wire service, and social media came in just under 1%, although I suspect we'll see that number grow maybe a little bit over the years. So now let's talk a little bit about bloggers and other online content creators and how they've changed the media landscape. First, reaching this group can be a little bit trickier. Email's still best communications channel, but you need to get approval from targeted bloggers before you start adding them to your email list. Consider offering them something useful to them, right? Like experts to interview, for example. This group of, online journalists, bloggers, online content creators who republish online really want multimedia, easily transferable assets. Beef those up if that's your target audience. Make sure releases are shareable across social platforms, right? So while some social media tools are a little gimmicky, we see others that are very useful. Some of the ones we think are the most effective are social media bookmarks, right? This enables people to archive and share your information online. Social media footprints, invite them to join you. Some of these great free online embeddable tools, things like PhotoBucket or SlideShare, Vidler, these are great ways to create some creative content at a low cost and share things that work well for the media. Also, we like to see people get a little creative. We've seen some really effective things, like, for example, clients who use a WordPress template just to create a single topic blog and link to it from their release. That can be a good way to get recipients really engaged in a dialogue about your topic. So finally, let's talk a little bit about the consumer audience and the fact that now prospects and customers and competitors, anybody can see your news release online nowadays. Now, the 2 ways people generally are going to run across your news release online is 1, it's republished by a journalist and blogger, right? Traditional pickup. Or 2, it's just picked up whole hog on the web and found by people using search engines like Google. So for the first one, emailing multimedia professional releases is the very best outbound tactic. That's the way to get pickup. But for the second one, if you are trying to get your release to spread around online, consider using traditional SEO methods and also a small market wire distribution, right? The wires are a great way to spread news online, but the web has no borders, right? A small, inexpensive one market distribution is going to give you the same benefit as a very expensive national distribution. Altogether, the key is to really integrate your inbound and outbound efforts. Now, when you're thinking about the impression you're making on the people who find your releases online, remember, you only get one chance to make a first impression. Your news release should match your branding initiatives, not those of the sender. No more plain text, ugly releases, right? Wow those eyeballs. Give them well-rounded, graphically interesting releases that are loaded with relevant, useful, helpful information. Hope this quick update on maximizing your news releases was helpful. I'll be back in another issue of Powerlines.